Hazreti Resul-i Ekrem ve Nebi Muhterem sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem Efendimiz Hazretlerinin aziz, pak, münevver, mutahhar ruh şeriflerine salavat-ı şerifi getirenlerin ahir ve akıbetleri hayrola. Âl ezvacı, tahiret evladı Resul-i Sabbin Efendilerimizin sayr enbiyazem ve Resul-i Kiram hazıratın ervah şeriflerine Pirimiz Bilal Habeş radıyallahu anh Efendimizin mihmandar Resul-i Kibriya Eyüp Sultan Halid bin Zeyd Eba Eyyub el Ensar radıyallahu anh Şah Mürşidan Şehace Muhammed Bahattin Naksibendi el-Buhari Mevlana Celaleddin er-Rumi Mevlana Ziyaddin Halid el-Bağdadi Sahibü'z-Zaman Kıbletil İslam Şeyh Mevlana Muhammed Nazım Adel el-Hakkani SahibulSaif Şeyh Abdulkerim el-Kibrisi Rabbani Kaddesallahu esraruhum hazıratın ervahı için Hademül Harameyn-ü Şerifeyn Yavuz Sultan Selim Han Ebu'l-Fetvel Magazi Fatih Sultan Mehmet Han ve Serdar-ı Hakan Sultan Abdülhamid Han cennet mekan Firdevs-i Aşiyan hazıratın ervahına ve amn-ı inayetine alelhusus bu caminin bahanesi ve bugüne kadar içerisinden gelmiş geçmiş İmam, müezzin, kayyum ve cemaatinin ve kahve ehliye ervahı için Allah rızası için El Fatiha. Euzubillahimineşşeytanirracim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. İnnallâhe ve melâiketehu yusallûne alen nebi. Ya eyyühellezine amenü sallu aleyhi ve sellimu teslîmâ. Allahümme salli ala seyyidina Muhammedin ve ala ali seyyidina Muhammed. Allahu Ekber, Allahu Ekber. Allahu Ekber, Allahu Ekber. Eşhedü en la ilahe illallah. Eşhedü en la ilahe illallah. Eşhedü enne Muhammeden Resulullah. Eşhedü enne Muhammeden Resulullah. Hayya ale's-salâh. Hayya ale's-salâh. Hayya alel-felâh. Hayya alel-felâh. Allahu Ekber, Allahu Ekber. La ilahe illallah.
La ilahe illallah vahdehu la şerike leh. Elhamdülillah. Elhamdülillah. Elhamdülillahi Rabbil alemin. Ve salatu ve selamu ala Resulina Muhammedin ve ala alihi ve sahbihi ecmain. Nahmedullah Teala ve nagtafir ve eşhedü en la ilahe illallah vahdehu la şerike leh. Ve eşhedü enne seyyidina Muhammeden abduhu ve habibuhu ve resuluhu sallallahu aleyhi ve ala alihi ve ezvacihi ve sahbihi tabi'i hulefai raşidin mahadin min ba'di. Ve zâmiyat ala tahkik huzuza minhu alameti hulefai Resulullah ala tahkik Ömer el-Mu'minin Hazreti Ebu Bakr ve Osman ve Ali ve ala baki sahbihi tabi'in riyudan ve ta'ala aleyhim ecma'in. Ya eyyuhel mu'minul hazirun Tekullah Teala ve innallâhe mellezîne tekellezîne hum muhsinûn. Elhamdülillahi Rabbil alemin. Ve salatu ve selamu ala eşrafil enbiya ve mursalin Seyyidina Mevlana Muhammedin ve ala alihi ve sahbihi ecma'in. All praises are due to Allah, Lord of the universes. All praises are due to Allah, the first, the last, the manifest, the hidden, the one who has might and power over all things. All praises are due to Allah who says in the Holy Quran, Surah Al-Hadid, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. What is wrong with you that you don't believe in Allah? When the messenger calls you to believe in your Lord and he has already made a promise with you, if you are believers. He it is who sends down clear revelations unto his servants, that he may bring you from darkness into light. And truly for you, Allah is full of pity, merciful. And what is wrong with you that you don't spend in the way of Allah when to Allah belongs all the inheritance of the heavens and the earth. Those who spent and fought before the victory are not on the same level as the rest of you. Such are greater in rank than those who spend and they fought after. To each has Allah promised good, and Allah is informed of what you do. Who is the one that will loan unto Allah a beautiful loan, that He may double it for him and his may be a rich reward? On the day when you, Ya Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, on the day when you will see the believers, men and women, their light shining in front of them, and on their right hands it will be said to them, good news for you on this day. Gardens underneath which rivers flow, wherein you are immortal. That is the supreme triumph. On the day when the male and the female hypocrites will say to the believers, look at us so that we can borrow from your light, it will be said to them, go back and look for the light. Then there will separate them a wall that has a gate. Its interior contains mercy, but on the outside of it is punishment. The hypocrites will call to the believers, weren't we with you? The believers will say, yes, but you tempted one another and hesitated and doubted, and your false desires tricked you until the command of Allah came to pass. And the deceiver tricked you about Allah. So today, no ransom can be taken from you, nor from those who disbelieved. Your home is the fire. That is the proper place to claim for, and an evil refuge it is. Hasn't the time come for those who believe that their hearts should become humbly submissive at the remembrance of Allah and what has come down of the truth? And let them not be like those who were given the book before. A long period passed over them, so their hearts hardened, and many of them are defiantly disobedient. Sadaqallah al-Azim. May all peace and blessings be upon the seal of prophethood, Sayyidina Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. Hazrat Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anh said that the Holy Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam said, whoever says, may Allah reward Sayyidina Muhammad on our behalf, a reward that is befitting as he deserves, Allah will order the angels to keep writing good deeds for him for 1,000 days. May peace and blessings be upon him and upon his noble family and upon his blessed companions, especially upon the four Khulafa Rashidin, Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq, Hazrat Umar Farooq, Hazrat Osman al-Ghani, and Hazrat Ali al-Murtaza, and all those who follow them until the last day. May peace and blessings be upon the Mashaykhs of the noble Nakshibendi way, the defenders of the way of the Sahabis. May peace and blessings be upon the Ottoman Padishahs, the Ghazi Sultans who established and defended the Sharia for 800 years. May Allah love those who love them. May Allah curse and humiliate those who hate them. Amen. Ya ayyuhal mu'minun, O believers, Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam came as Bashir and Nazir. He came to give good news, and he came to warn. And he is giving us a major warning in a hadith that comes from Hazrat Muaz ibn Jabal, which is recorded in the 40 hadiths of Imam Nawawi. Listen. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hazrat Muaz, who was one of the most knowledgeable Sahabis, said, Ya Rasulullah, tell me of an act which will enter me into paradise and will keep me away from hellfire. He ﷺ said, you have asked me about a major matter. Yet it is easy for him for whom Allah makes it easy. You should worship Allah, associating nothing with Him. You should perform the prayers. You should pay the zakat. You should fast the Ramadan. And you should make the pilgrimage to the house. Shall I not show you the gates of goodness? Fasting, which is a shield. Charity, which extinguishes sin as water extinguishes fire. And the praying of a man in the depth of the night. Then he ﷺ recited the ayats, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Those who leave their beds to cry unto their Lord in fear and hope, and spend of that we have bestowed on them. No soul knows what is kept hid for them of joy as a reward for what they used to do. Then he said, shall I not tell you of the peak of the matter, its pillar and its topmost part, the most important thing? I said, yes, Ya Rasulullah. He said, the peak of the matter is Islam. The pillar is prayer, and its topmost part is struggling in the way of Allah. Should I tell you about controlling all of this? I said, yes, Ya Rasulullah. And the Holy Prophet ﷺ grabbed his own tongue and said, control this. I said, Ya Rasulullah, will what we say be held against us? The Prophet ﷺ said, may your mother be in mourning over you, Ya Muaz. Is there anything that topples people on their faces into hellfire other than the harvests of their tongues? And the Prophet speaks the truth. Understand what the Holy Prophet ﷺ is saying. He is talking about everything in our religion. Everything. About Islam, about prayers, zakat, hajj, about struggling in Allah's way. And he's tying all of that to one thing, controlling the tongue. He is saying that without control of the tongue, you don't have anything. And he is saying that the thing that causes the most people to fall into Jahannam on their faces, it is what we earn from our tongue. This hadith should make anyone with a heart in their chest to be afraid and to be careful. Because inside of our mouths is a piece of flesh, a boneless piece of flesh that can take us straight to hellfire. The master of the Siddiqui way, Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq, used to put a piece of stone in his mouth to stop himself from speaking. And he said, this is what led me into trouble. This is Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq, Siddiqul Akbar, the greatest in creation after the prophets, the companion of the cave. What about us? What we need to do? That tongue, when it is used wrong, it brings suffering in dunya and akhirat. Our Shaykh SahibulSaif, Shaykh Abdulkerim Kibrisi Rabbani Kadasasir is saying, your tongue, when you use it, when do you use it? And why do you use it? What the Prophet ﷺ is saying, either speak something that will give benefit to you and others, or else keep silent. Silence is a protection for you. What comes out from your tongue, you are responsible. For what is inside, you are not responsible. What came out from your tongue may have some brought out some good things to people and people are enjoying it. You are going to get reward from it. What came out from your mouth caused confusion. You are going to pay a price for that. You cannot say, well, I just did it. What can I do? I'm sorry. Of course you're sorry. You're going to be sorry. Confusion, a fitna. That tongue is capable of, yes, breaking a heart. But that tongue is also capable of breaking empires. That tongue is capable of causing a fitna that can reach from east to west, from north to south. That tongue has started wars. That tongue has caused kings to fall. That tongue has caused the innocent to be killed. Whoever used that tongue for fitna is cursed, because Holy Prophet ﷺ said, fitna is asleep. May the curse of Allah be upon the one who wakes it up. And what is the biggest way that the tongue causes fitna? Backbiting. Ghibat. Listen to the reminder of Sultan al-Awliya about how severe backbiting is in the sight of Allah and His Prophet. Grand Shaykh is saying, my Grand Shaykh was speaking on a very important point to everyone about a very dangerous characteristic of the ego, which is the main source of every trouble for mankind, the fountain of evil and the famous weapon of shaitan for turning people into each other's enemies and destroying good relations between people. Backbiting. It destroys everything and it is forbidden by Allah. Our faith can never grow if we cannot stop from backbiting. Every time we backbite, this is what we are doing to our iman. It's like you're pouring acid on the roots of a baby tree. It is a terrible action. And Grand Shaykh is pointing to the ayat to show how terrible. Allah is saying, O you who believe, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, O you who believe, avoid much suspicion. Avoid suspicion that is exaggerated. Because truly, some suspicion, it is a sin. And don't spy and don't backbite one another. Would one of you like to eat the flesh of his dead brother? You would hate to do that. And fear Allah. Truly Allah is accepting of repentance and merciful. Holy Prophet ﷺ says that Allah is the judge of judges, and that no one can judge anyone as Allah does. If you are backbiting, you are making yourself into a judge with no authority from the judge of judges, saying, so and so is a no good person. Know that you are not the judge of your Lord's servants. He created them and He judges them as He wills. Whoever ignores this point is making himself out to be a partner to Allah. And this is one of the greatest sins, because Allah never accepts any partner. Awliya Allah are speaking the haqq. And the reality of backbiting, as Shaykh Maulana is saying, is that the man is making himself into a partner with Allah. And Allah does not accept any partner. Backbiting makes a person to become disgusting and ugly in the presence of the beloveds of Allah. Once the Holy Prophet ﷺ saw a man backbiting. And the Holy Prophet said to him, pick your teeth. There is something stuck in your mouth. Pick your teeth. The man said, Ya Rasulullah, why should I pick my teeth when I haven't eaten any meat? The Holy Prophet ﷺ said, pick your teeth because you have just eaten the flesh of your brother. And Hazrat Jabir radiallahu anh is saying, once we were with the Holy Prophet when we smelled a disgusting smell being carried by the wind. Rasulullah ﷺ said, do you know what this wind is? It is the smell of those who backbite believers. Allah's beloveds, they can smell that on us when we are committing that evil action. And that evil action, it will destroy a man on Judgment Day. One of the Tabi'in, Hazrat Ibn Jubayr radiallahu anh, is saying, a servant will be brought on Judgment Day and will be shown his book of deeds. He won't see his namaz or his fasting or his good deeds. He will say, Ya Rabbi, this must be someone else's book because I had good deeds that are not written down here. And it will be said to him, truly, your Lord doesn't overlook anything or forget anything. Your deeds disappeared because you were backbiting people. This backbiting, it doesn't just destroy us. It can destroy others. Backbiting, the fitna of the tongue, it affected prophets. Are we understanding that? Musa alayhi salam was affected by the fitna that Qarun was making when Qarun was making false accusations against Musa alayhi salam. The fitna even affected the Holy Prophet alayhi salam and his own family. That people made evil accusations against the pure family of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, and it caused division and fitna within the community from that time until today. It was not something small. It may have started from something small, just sounds that you make from your mouth, but it was something very big. And it was so big that Allah Jalla wa'ala, Allah himself, he had to interfere. And he sent down ayats in Surah Al-Nur. Those ayats are very important for us to hear because they tell us how Allah wants the believers to behave when fitna or backbiting comes to them. He subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, truly those who spread the slander are a gang against you, among you. Truly those who spread the slander are a gang among you. Don't think it's bad for you. Rather, it is good for you. To every man among them will come the punishment of the sin that he earned, and to him who took on himself the lead among them will be a great punishment. Why didn't the male and female believers, when they heard the fitna, think good of one another and say, this is an obvious lie? Why didn't they produce 4 witnesses? Since they didn't produce 4 witnesses, they are truly liars in the sight of Allah. Had it not been for the favor of Allah and His mercy unto you in the world and in the Akhirat, a disastrous doom would have overtaken you for that which you were whispering about. When you welcomed it with your tongues, and said out of your mouths things about which you had no knowledge, you took it very lightly. But in the sight of Allah, it is very serious. And why, when you heard it, didn't you say, it is not right of us to speak about this? Subhanaka, this is a great slander. Allah warns you that you not repeat such conduct ever if you are true believers. And Allah makes clear to you the verses, and Allah is knowing and wise. Truly those who love to see a scandal publicized amongst the believers will have a painful punishment in this life and the hereafter. And Allah knows, and you do not know. Sadaqallahu al-Azim. These are very heavy ayats. And they don't just apply to that time, they apply to our time forever. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hates to see fitna. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hates to see people becoming gangs to bring others down. Allah hates to see people make scandal to become public, but that is the default mode for people today. This is what people do. Immediately. In the last century, Shaitan has fooled man so much that the man has become the expert in going against these ayats and learning how to spread suspicion, gossip, slander, and fitna all over the world, 24 hours a day. At the beginning of the last century, we saw that the press and propaganda began to explode. So now everybody could read, and magazines and newspapers began to print every kind of lie and slander inside. It was through those newspapers that the enemies of the Ottomans made so many accusations against our great Sultan, Abdul Hamid Khan, calling him Kizil Sultan. and turning the hearts of the people against him. It was through those words, through those accusations, through those lies, that they were able to make the hearts of the people turn against the sultans who had ruled for 800 years. In our age now, technology is used by Shaitan. Shaitan made a technology for fitna and backbiting for everyone that is in our pockets 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And everyone is constantly plugged into that phone with its Wi-Fi, with its internet, with its Facebook and its news apps and its social media apps especially. It is doing nothing but spreading gossip and fake stories and fake news. Holy Prophet ﷺ is saying, the person who makes up stories and the gossip, he will not enter into paradise. What are all those app icons on our phone for other than to make constant fitna? To put accusations against others, to make judgment against others, to destroy others. And the West now is seeing how harmful that technology, that fitna is, that it is bringing down. It is bringing down the pillars of their democracy that have been standing for more than 200 years. Just one or two websites that they have the potential to do so much harm that the balance that has been kept in this country is being destroyed in just a few years. And the Western people are waking up to say, we have to control this technology. We have to stop this slander and this fitna from spreading. We have to find a way to make a distinction between truth and false. What happened to freedom of information? What happened to freedom? Even non-Muslims are saying this and waking up to this. But Muslims have become so in love with this technology and this making of fitna and spreading lies that they are sinking inside of it. They are developing it more, using it more and using it to make a fitna inside of Islam. Scholars, so-called sheikhs, imams are the biggest users of this social media. And they are learning all of the tricks to use the social media to promote themselves, to promote their own understandings of Islam, to promote their deviation and to spread it to as many people as possible. SahibulSaif is talking about how great a fitna is in front of us and how serious that fitna is, saying your news, your understanding, your intelligence, everything that you know either is from those television or those computers sitting in front of them all night, all day long, just to make fitna to yourself and to the world. You know the hadith sharif that the Holy Prophet ﷺ is saying, if you hear that Mahdi ﷺ is coming, and he's going to come from this side, and he's going to have people with him, only a handful of people with him. They are going to carry black flags. Don't think that it's just the flag that the Holy Prophet ﷺ is speaking. He says that time, if you have a newborn baby, just born, just leave and run after them. If you are a cripple, crawl after them. If you are ready to die in the frozen snow side, start moving to be among them. What do you think? You think you will be ready if Mahdi ﷺ was taking the takbir tonight by Maghrib time? Or do you think you are ready for Fajr time? How will you be? How you are going to be ready for Fajr time? That majority of you are going to sit in front of computer all night long, backbiting and slandering and attacking and cheating and lying and giving fatwas, and when morning is setting, deep sleep is going to take you. How you think you are going to hear the takbir? Now you are understanding the danger you are waiting for? Yes. So at least hold on tightly to the ones that you're holding on to. They may smack you, and they may wake you up that time. Yes. Oh, believers, we have to stay away from backbiting. We have to stay away from fitna. We have to stay away from slander. We have seen the effects of fitna with our own eyes when people are making slander and fitna against our Shaykh Effendi. We are seeing the effects of that fitna against our own selves right now, that for years, those who are closest to us and kissing our hands and saying, may we be sacrificed for you, they have already sacrificed themselves to their ego. And they have non-stop made fitna to us, and we have not answered once. The time will come when those who have been slandered, permission will be given for them to stand up and to clear the confusion. Clearing the confusion is not fitna. Clearing the confusion is knowing and showing what is right and what is wrong. Because we have been attacked, now we have to defend. But we cannot be those ones who are attacking. We cannot be those ones who are taking the rights of others. We cannot be those ones who are harvesting the hellfire for ourselves with our tongues. Those who are given permission, and when they see others who are taking the rights of others, they see others who are making fitna and confusion and slander, those who are given permission, they must stand up and they must defend. We are Hakkanis. We are defenders of the truth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He put this tongue in a prison behind our teeth and behind our lips. We should only use that tongue for haqq. All of our limbs, all of our body parts will talk to our tongue in the morning to warn it. All of our body parts will do that. Holy Prophet ﷺ himself is saying, when the son of Adam wakes up in the morning, all of his limbs, all of his body parts, they defer to the tongue. They say, we will not speak, you will speak. And they will say to the tongue, fear Allah regarding us, because we are only a part of you. If you are straight, then we are straight. But if you are crooked, then we are crooked. And our tongue, and our hands, and our feet, and every part of our body will speak against us on the day of judgment. A believer is straight. Holy Prophet ﷺ said, say, I believe in Allah, and then be straight. And this is a reminder we have received from our Shaykh, that he said, my father Haji Fuad, Rahmatullah alayh, may Allah raise his station, always says to me, my son, always stand like a straight wall. A straight wall will never come down. If you are a little crooked, then one day that wall is going to come down. If you are straight, then no one is going to bring you down. And he said to me once, be disobedient to me or to other family members. If you want, then be disobedient to us, but never be disobedient to Shaykh Maulana. If you are disobedient to Shaykh Maulana, then I will never forgive you in dunya and in akhirat. This advice, it is the essence of how we will control our tongue, how we will control our ego, how we will find safety. This advice is being obedient to the Shaykh. That is our way, and that is the way that those before us followed. No matter what people say, no matter what accusations they throw at us, calling us wrong, calling us a cult, calling us a center of fitna, that is our way. And that is the way that is those before us, and that is the way of the Sahaba Kiram. In this month of Safar, we should be running more for safety. And safety is found by being in obedience to the people of safety. May Allah let us be believers who control our egos and our tongues. May Allah protect us from letting our tongue to be the cause of fitna or backbiting or taking the rights of others. May Allah let us to use our tongues for haqq. May Allah let us use our tongues to defend others. May Allah let us use our tongues to defend haqq. May Allah keep us with those who speak the truth, who live for the truth, who struggle for the truth. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us with our Shaykh in this life and the next life. Amin. Estağfurullah. Estağfurullah. Estağfurullah lazim alazim. La ilahe illallah. La ilahe illallah vahdehu la şerike la lehul mulku ve kadir. La ilahe illallah vahdehu la şerike la. La ilahe illallah vahdehu la şerike la. La ilahe illa ente subhaneke minez zalimin. La ilahe illa ente subhaneke minez zalimin. La ilahe illa ente subhaneke minez zalimin. Subhun kudusun Rabbena Rabbena. Subhun kudusun Rabbena Rabbena. İnna dine indallahil İslam. Kâm salah.